Right now, you think you're small. You think you're average. You think you're just one more face in the crowd. You think your dreams are too big, that your past mistakes have defined you, that your best days might already be behind you.
But let me ask you a question. What if everything you believe about yourself is a lie? What if the greatest power you'll ever need is already inside you, but you refuse to see it because you've been convinced by whispers you heard long ago, whispers that told you you weren't enough?
Today, we're going to shatter those whispers. Today, you're not going to watch this video to pass the time. You're going to watch it because, from this moment forward, nothing about your life will ever be the same. You're going to realize the power that's lived inside you all along, waiting for its chance to shine. So, take a deep breath, let your heart slow, and prepare to feel something you may never have felt before. Unshakable conviction. This will not just be another motivational talk. This will be the spark that ignites your transformation. For far too long, too many people walk around with hidden gold inside them, convinced they're made of dust. They've been taught to play small, to dim their lights, to whisper instead of speaking boldly. But listen to this. The greatest tragedy is not a life cut short. It's a life never lived at its full strength. It's waking up one morning, decades from now, looking in the mirror and realizing you spent your days trapped inside a cage of your own making. The bars of that cage are your doubts, your fears, your limiting beliefs. They're not real. They are illusions crafted by moments when you felt weak, by people who told you no, by circumstances that tried to crush you. Yet here's the truth. Every moment you've ever felt defeated is a stepping stone, not a tombstone. If you continue to treat your past failures as proof that you can't succeed, you'll never rise. But if you see each setback as fuel, tiny fire embers that, when stoked by your courage, can ignite the blaze of your destiny, then you'll begin to see something extraordinary. You'll see that you were never meant to remain small. You were born to rise. There is a hidden power inside you, buried beneath the layers of doubt and fear. It's not just talent or intelligence, though those might be there too, but something far deeper. Your will. Your capacity to endure. Your ability to adapt. Your courage to face adversity. But you've been trained to overlook it. Imagine a lion raised among sheep. It walks with its head down, believing it's a sheep too, never knowing the war that's been waiting to break free. That's you right now. You've allowed the noise of doubt to drown out the war of your potential. That's you right now. But it doesn't have to stay that way. There is a calm strength inside you, a part of your mind where fear cannot reach. The Stoics called this the rational mind, or the inner citadel, a place of clarity, reason, and resilience. Whenever you feel like cowering, whenever you feel like giving up, that citadel is waiting. It's a sanctuary where your true self stands, unafraid. But to reach it, you must be willing to silence the whispers of fear and focus on the whispers of strength. Every time you focus on fear, you water that seed, and it grows into a weed that chokes your potential. Every time you focus on your strength, you water the seed of greatness inside you, and it blooms into action. So what does that look like in real life? Every morning, instead of waking up and thinking, "I'm not good enough," start by recalling one thing you did right yesterday. Maybe you helped someone without expecting anything in return. Maybe you showed up for a friend who needed you. Maybe you took a tiny step toward a goal. Typed a sentence. Did one push-up. Made one phone call. That's proof. Proof that you have the will to act, that you can keep moving forward, that you are not defined by failure. Once you start collecting this evidence, something magical happens. You begin to see yourself differently. Confidence doesn't come from arrogance.
It comes from quiet assurance, a calm flame, not a wildfire.
It's the knowledge that you have survived storms, that you have faced pain that could have destroyed others, and yet you are still standing. That's not weakness, that's power, and no one can take that away from you.
Now, let's talk about those chains that bind you, the beliefs you never say out loud but that whisper in your ear at the worst moments. You'll never be enough. You're too old. You've failed too many times.
These beliefs are not the truth. They're wounds, scars from moments when you needed a helping hand and got silence instead. Maybe it was a teacher who labeled you lazy, a coach who told you you weren't talented, a boss who said you weren't cut out for the job. Maybe it was a breakup, a rejection, a loss that convinced you that you should shrink. But let me tell you, those moments may have shaped you, but they do not define you. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Those limiting thoughts, they came from outside events, but your mind, that citadel inside, has the power to break them. So write them down. List every "I can't," every "I'm not," every "I don't deserve." And then flip them. Write the opposite. "I learn fast. I grow stronger every day. I am worthy of peace." Read these new beliefs aloud. Do it so often that your brain stops flinching, because belief precedes reality. Until you start believing, you'll never step into the person you were meant to be. But belief alone isn't enough. Action is required. The Stoics didn't preach courage, they practiced it. Epictetus was a slave, but his mind was free. He woke up every morning determined to live according to his principles, to respond to hardship with calm clarity. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he still trained his thoughts daily, writing meditations, seeking to align his purpose with the greater good. Seneca lost everything he owned, but he found peace through wisdom, demonstrating that even when material wealth is stripped away, one can remain unshaken. They knew that action kills fear. So don't wait. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment will never come. 2 minutes, that's all you need. 2 minutes to send that message, to write that paragraph, to pick up that weight, to make that call. That first step is the spark. Motion creates emotion. When you move, even if your legs feel like jelly, you send a message to your mind. Courage is now the default. Fear tries to paralyze you, but action is louder than fear. Move, and fear will hear you coming. Now, what about obstacles? The world will not always be fair. People will misunderstand you. Life will hurt you. Plans will crumble. But the Stoics taught that the obstacle is the way. That means every setback is not blocking your path. It is your path. When you slip, you learn balance. When you fall, you learn how to stand stronger. When you lose someone, you discover the depth of your heart. That broken dream, it taught you resilience. That betrayal, it taught you truth. That failure, it revealed your strength. Your pain was not pointless. It planted a seed. The question is, will you water that seed with courage, or will you let it wither? Roman soldiers didn't pray for calm seas. They trained for storms. They knew that work was easier when the wind wasn't howling, but they understood that storms were inevitable, and they marched through them anyway. They marched because they had a mission. So do you. Your mission is to become the person you were meant to be, not the one who settles, not the one who hides, but the one who uses every stone thrown at them to build something greater. Write down your current obstacles. Now ask, how can this help me grow? It's not a cliche. It's a question that cracks open your mind. List 3 ways each challenge could serve you. Think deeply. Maybe this setback is teaching you patience. Maybe it's showing you a new direction.
Maybe it's forcing you to develop a skill you never thought you needed. There is always a gift in the pain, but only you can unwrap it. Let me remind you, confidence is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of doubt. Real courage shows up in spite of those feelings. Your heart may still race, your hands may still tremble, but if you step forward anyway, you build a new reality. Each small act of bravery is like a brick laid in the fortress of your confidence. Every time you speak up when your voice shakes, every time you try again after a failure, your fortress grows stronger. Over time, you become unshakable. And here's the beautiful part. Once you become unshakable, fear will no longer be your master. It will be a visitor, a reminder that you're alive, but one that you no longer tremble before. You will treat fear as the Stoics treated pain. Something to acknowledge, something to endure, something that can teach you, but not something that can stop you. Now, ask yourself, what is your definition of success? Is it fame, money, approval? Those things are like water in a sieve. They slip through your fingers, and no matter how much you pour in, it never feels full. True success is a state of mind. It's waking up every day knowing you did your best, that you used your power to push beyond your limits, that you lived in alignment with your values. It's the knowledge that you stood face to face with your demons and refused to cower. When you live like that, you don't need validation from others because you validate yourself. You don't chase fleeting pleasures because you find joy in the journey. You don't fear failure because failure is part of the journey. Look at a seed. It spends time underground in darkness until it pushes through the soil. Without that pressure and darkness, it never becomes the mighty tree it is meant to be. Your struggles are your pressure. They're your darkness. And through them, you will grow. So, let's get practical. Start small. Every evening, before you sleep, write down 3 things you did well that day. Not 3 perfect things, just 3 things. Maybe you listened when someone needed to talk. Maybe you didn't complain when the morning alarm rang. Maybe you took 1 extra step toward your goal. That simple exercise does wonders. It trains your brain to focus on your strengths rather than your shortcomings. Then, every morning, repeat a new belief out loud. I am courageous. I am capable. I learn from every mistake. Do it standing tall, looking in the mirror. Even if you feel foolish, do it until your mind accepts it. Because the words you repeat become the roots of your reality. Over time, your brain rewires. The doubts shrink. The new truth grows. Next, choose 1 action goal for the week. 1 thing you've been avoiding. Maybe it's a conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's a project you've been procrastinating on. Maybe it's a difficult workout, or a step into a social setting that scares you. Whatever it is, commit to taking that step. Block off a time on your calendar. Announce it to a friend or post it publicly. Accountability is a powerful tool. Then, on the day, when your heart flutters and your mind screams, no, remember Epictetus' words. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Visualize the end, how you will feel after you face the fear, how you will look back and say, I did it. Let that vision fuel you, and then move. Even if it's trembling, even if it's imperfect, move. Because movement pierces fear like an arrow. After that, reflect. At the end of the week, look back on what you did. Celebrate every win, no matter how small. Reflect on what the experience taught you. Did you learn something new about yourself? Did you discover a strength you didn't know you had? Did you find a way to grow from discomfort? Write down your insights. These are the building blocks of your new story. Over time, you'll see a pattern. The more you move, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the bolder your actions. The bolder your actions, the more your world expands. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable because now you have proof that you can overcome. And don't do this alone. Community matters. The Stoics often gathered to discuss philosophy, to challenge each other, to hold each other accountable. Find your tribe, people who also want more, who refuse to settle, who are tired of playing small. Share your goals with them, encourage them, celebrate their wins. Let their courage inspire you, and let your courage inspire them. Together, you build a wave of momentum that washes away doubt. You become each other's mirrors, reflecting back the greatness you might not yet see in yourself.
Let me remind you one more time. The greatest power you'll ever need is already inside you. It's the fire of your will, the calm of your rational mind, the muscle of your courage. It's the same power Epictetus used to remain free while enslaved. It's the same power Marcus Aurelius used to lead an empire with grace. It's the same power Seneca used to find joy when everything else was lost. That power is yours, but you must claim it. You must fan that flame. You must step into the unknown, even if your legs quake, because on the other side of that first step lies everything you desire. Confidence, clarity, purpose, freedom. So what now? You've felt the fire. You've seen the vision. You know what you need to do. But knowledge without action is like a sword you never draw. So right now, in this moment, pick one thing. Just one. It can be small. A thought, a phrase, a step. Write a new belief. Send that message. Make that call. Step toward the discomfort you've been avoiding. And then, tomorrow, do it again. Because this isn't just a motivational moment. This is the start of your transformation. This is where the old story ends and the new story begins. One of power, one of purpose, one of quiet, unstoppable strength. And here's a final secret. Once you start, you'll crave more. You'll discover new depths of your potential. You'll want to share your journey with others. So when you feel the spark in your chest, don't let it fade. Tell someone about this video. Comment below with the one step you're going to take. Subscribe if you haven't already, and become part of a community that chooses growth over comfort, that walks the Stoic path, that refuses to accept the lie of limitation. Because the world doesn't need more people playing small. It needs you, fully alive, roaring with the truth of your own strength. It needs you to shine. It needs you to show up. It needs you to stand tall and scream to the universe, "I will not be underestimated." So go, claim your power. And when you look back years from now, you'll see that this was the moment everything changed, and you'll be grateful you listened.